Thank you for everyone who watched our video on the 182. We're a pretty small YouTube channel, but we picked up several thousand subscribers just because of that video. As of the filming of this, we're at 111,000 views on that, and it's been out for right at a week. So thank you again for everyone who liked it, subscribed, and also commented. Number one question that we had was, how did this happen? Kind of a sad story. I got the straight answer from the owner. His dad was a military aviator. He flew in the right seat with him constantly. He was his co-pilot, and his dad passed away, and the owner lost interest. That's all it was. He lost interest and couldn't bring himself to go fly in the airplane without his dad. So there it sat. Stay tuned to the end of the video. I will go through all of the costs, everything that we've done to the aircraft, and the full cost breakdown of all of it.
I thought I would come check in on Kirk. It's been a little bit since we got some updates on his projects. He's got that Cessna that had the rusty engine that we took a look at. It's been a couple of months now. Let's see if he's up here. Knock, knock.
Kelly.
There he is.
What's going on?
There's the man.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Happy New Year, I guess it is.
Happy New Year.
What's going on today?
So the question that I have for you is, here we are, like dead of winter. We got some snow yesterday. What does it look like around here right now?
Well, not a huge amount of flying, but you know we've got projects going constantly between the hangar that you shot a while ago, the Rusty 182. We're planning some cool events and things coming up for this year. March 24th actually marked 5 years in business since we opened Coeur d'Alene Aviation.
Happy anniversary!
Thank you. Yeah, I think we started with 5 employees or something in a 4,600 square foot facility. Now we've got 23 employees. We're in 27,000 square foot of hangars and offices and things. I think we did about 80 annuals in last year. We sold about 25 airplanes for people. You know, we're under contract on 3 hangars.
How many annuals did you do your very first year in business? Do you remember?
10.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
that business has made good headway year over year. Maintenance is crazy. You know, we have 5 mechanics over there. We have over 100 years of experience in the shop. Yeah. Earl, one of our director of maintenance, he started working on de Havilland Beavers in the Vietnam War. That's amazing.
So yeah, he's probably forgot more than I'll ever know when it comes to maintenance, but
and that's significant because you know a lot.
Yeah, so obviously, you know, it's always busy in the shop. We've got a condition inspection or annual going on here. This is a pre-buy inspection we just wrapped up for a gentleman. This is one of our trainer planes. We're doing an exhaust system on it. So, but big thing, you know, last time everybody saw this plane, it was covered in dust. If you watched the last video, you saw the engine was full of rust. We really looked at it closely, and you know, once we started figuring out, this thing hadn't flown for 14 years. We could have done what's called an IRAN inspection. An IRAN inspection is an inspect and repair as needed. But my concern is, okay, let's say we put new cylinders on it, but then the fuel spider, it's got some diaphragms and stuff in it. That's where all your fuel is at. And this thing had fuel sitting in it for 14 years. The fuel spider could have started leaking. The propeller, as soon as that propeller spun for maybe an hour, these seals around here would start leaking. I talked with the owner and I said, hey, I'm not comfortable representing this aircraft unless we can tell a buyer, I mean, a buyer's gonna spend $500,000 on this thing, that everything is done. When we got it, I stuck my finger, we pulled this tube off, I stuck my finger in there and tried to turn that, and it was frozen. So all of that stuff could have, we could have just done the basics, but I wouldn't have felt good about selling this aircraft to someone because it would have stuff that would start to come due. These right here, the rubber isolators, we put on new rubber isolators. There's $1,000 for those. We rebuilt the nose strut. We put on 3 new tires and tubes. So this has a Kevlar oxygen bottle. It's got a 10-year calendar date, or 10 or 12-year calendar date. It was expired. The seat belts in this, they're called an AM-safe seat belt. They've got an airbag in them. Those are a 10-year calendar date item. Some technology called ADSB out, automatic dependent broadcast surveillance. That was mandated by the FAA that aircraft flying into certain airspace needed to have that installed. This plane didn't have that. Even though it's got the really nice Garmin G1000 panel, it didn't have that. Now it has ADSB out, and ADS-B in, so you can connect with your iPad and look at traffic and different things like that. It's got a ship battery to start the engine, and then it's got a backup battery for avionics. We had to do a new battery in that. 14 years worth of airworthiness directives had to be dealt with. The software had to be updated. There was $1,000 the avionics shop charged us just to update the software. The propeller governor was overhauled. One area that always is kind of telling in aircraft is the firewall. If they've been backcountry planes or trainer planes, sometimes this area down here can get kind of wrinkled and things. 182s, they have, I forget what year they started doing it, but they put these this extra doubler in here for cross bracing and things. But as you can see, I mean, zero corrosion. I had a few people go, how did the engine get so rusty? When the engine stopped its last time, it was pulling air inside. An intake valve was open, it was pulling air inside, and that air sat in there. Yes, we're in a dry arid climate, but for instance, springtime, we're gonna get some moisture. We're gonna get some humidity. 14 years of 4 seasons, and that just happened. Keep in mind, that's all bare metal inside there. It has a little tiny bit of oil, but it's all bare metal. What could have been done, if you can foresee that, there's a process called pickling the engine, and we put some preservative inside. We pull the spark plugs, we put some preservatives inside, or we fog the engine. Or that would have remedied the rust there. That wouldn't have remedied the possibility of these seals up here going out or anything like that. Certified aircraft engines in Florida is who overhauled this engine. I could have opted to have them overhaul one they had on the shelf, a core engine. But on a core engine, we don't necessarily know how many hours are on it. It could be a 3,000 hour core, it could be a 10,000 hour core. In cars, muscle cars and things, classic cars, numbers matching is a big thing. If the engine and the transmission are what came in that car, it helps with the value. Aircraft aren't necessarily like that, but because 379 hours, 379 hours, 379 hours, I wanted to ensure that we still had the same serial number engine and propeller that came out of the factory. I just feel like that helps the pedigree of the plane. The next buyer, they may not care, but I wanted to make sure that we didn't hang an engine on here that had 10,000 hours on the case. These guys right here, these are fuel sumps. You know, when you're doing your pre-flight, you poke your fuel tester up in there to see if there's any water. This has a little spring inside of it, and it has a little rubber diaphragm. There's actually 11 of these on the entire aircraft. We switched out all 11 of them because what can happen, you can poke up into that. If a little bit of debris gets in there, or that rubber is deteriorated, or the spring is deteriorated or isn't strong enough, then this will just sit and drip. So the last thing I wanted is for somebody to buy this thing, and then one of those starts leaking. So we put in 11 new fuel sumps just to make sure that we're safe. Dirty Bird Aviation, he's the local detail guy. He maintains our Pilatus, he maintains numerous jets. He is a magician with this stuff, and you guys saw how dirty this plane was. All he did was came in and did a dry wash on it. He did not polish it, never touched it with a buffer, and it looks absolutely perfect.
When I came into the hangar and I was looking at the airplanes, I was like, which one is it? Because it was so filthy.
We took the seats and everything out for the annual, but I mean, look at, it's literally brand new. When we were looking underneath the floors at all the cables and everything in the annual, there's like no grease, no grime, no nothing. I'm hoping that we are able to start it, probably the end of this week, we'll start it, and then we'll do a few flights with it to make sure the engine's running good, and then we'll probably take it out for a long cross country to help with the break-in. We'll make that a demonstration flight, and we'll take everybody along and show them a demo flight in the 20-year-old new aircraft. We haven't even lit up the avionics yet in it. I know that the avionics shop plugged in when the engine was off, and they fired up the panel, but we haven't even turned that on yet.
We talked about it when we were shooting it originally. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that as like an airplane maintenance guy, like finding a jewel like this in a barn, these barn finds, is kind of an exciting deal.
Yeah, I'm a real geek when it comes to aviation and construction and things. This has been probably one of the funnest projects that we've done. I'm excited to get it out. I'm excited for the new buyer to see it.
Here's a rundown on everything it took to get this aircraft back to an airworthiness status, as well as get it to a reliable status. So obviously we had to do an annual inspection on it, which is just labor. We had to do a new aircraft battery as well as the backup battery, $1,400 for that. ELT battery, $400. The engine, we ended up sending the engine out for a complete overhaul, not an IRAN inspection. I'm looking at the Air Power website right now. A new Lycoming TIO 540 AK1A engine, $219,000 from Air Power. We were able to get it overhauled as well as paid an expedite fee for $85,000. We did do the new Lord engine isolator mounts, $1,300. It had the AmSafe inflatable seat belts in it, the airbag seat belts. Those expire after, I believe, 10 years. We chose to put it back to just normal nylon seat belts without the airbags, $5,000 for that. The oxygen cylinder was expired as well. It's a Kevlar oxygen cylinder, $5,000 for that. New fuel sumps, we did all 11 of them. We didn't want those to stick. $700 for that. We put in the Garmin GTX 345 transponder, so it had ADS-B out as well as in, and it needed several updates to be complied with the software. That was $12,000. We ended up doing sending the propeller out for overhaul as well as the governor, $11,000 for that. All new tubes and tires, $800 there. Obviously, it had plenty of ADs to comply with. There was some additional labor on that. So total parts, labor, everything, $154,000 to get this plane back to the state it's in now. Okay, first startup in 14 years on the 182 barn find.